Hi, this is Steve Lloyd. Welcome to my channel. Please hit that like button. Thanks for taking the time to listen to me today. I want to talk about, mentors that we have in our lives, but also can stop our progress. I remember, before I bought Clifton Glen, that actually changed my wealth life tremendously. I remember going and asking one of my mentors whether I should do this deal or maybe if he wanted to get involved. And it's a deal that I knew the current partners that I would in, I have a lot of confidence with them. But when I was talking to this other mentor, he wasn't involved in real estate. That's not how he created his wealth. And he was worth hundreds of millions of dollars, the person I was talking to, and was looking for advice whether I should do the Clifton Glen deal. And, so what I want to say is, take advice from people, but at the end of the day, take advice from your mentors, but at the end of the day, if you believe in your heart that that is a good deal or what you're doing in your life is good for you, you can't always listen to your mentors. So when I listen to my mentors, I take bits and pieces out of what they say. I don't take everything to what they say because, the way they created their wealth isn't the way I'm creating my wealth in real estate. He was buying companies and building them up and selling them. He wasn't taking apartment buildings, building them up and selling them. So, I asked for him to be a partner in that deal, and he probably would have made about $1.5 million if he would have did the deal with me. But he found every reason in that deal not to do the deal. But it wasn't his fault. It wasn't that he was really giving me bad advice. It was just he didn't understand how the apartment building world worked. He was really upset about the guys that were going to run the deal, that they were going to take 2% up front, but that's part of their fee for putting that whole apartment deal, the whole plan together, executing, looking at the accounting, looking at the books of the people that we were buying from the property from, making sure the rent roll was right, making sure that the property was in the shape that the seller was saying that it was in. So I think it's really important for you to make your own decisions. At the end of the day, you can go and seek advice and look for people to guide you in the right way. But remember that sometimes the business that you're in, your mentor is not in that business. So I always look for my mentors to give me good, sound advice. But, we took that property, Clifton Glen, with my two other partners, and we bought that deal for $27.5 million. We put about $2.5 million into it. And then literally 13 months, we sold that apartment building for $41 million. So that was a life changer for me and a wealth creator for me. And if I would have listened to my mentor in that situation, I would have backed that out of that deal, and that apartment building would have never been bought and sold, and I wouldn't be living in Siesta Key today. I'd be looking for another deal. So, you have to have confidence in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to look at those deals and make sure see how you feel about them. Whenever anyone calls me for advice, I give them advice. I tell them not to do I don't tell them not to do the deal or not. I tell them what to look for in the deal, and I also really reaffirm the story that I'm telling you. I might not know that business. They might just come to me for a general business what they're involved in. So I just give them the business, the fundamental aspects of the risk and reward, of what they're doing. And I try to be clear to them because I don't want to stop anybody's dream. I just give them the facts of how much work it's going to, be put into something, one of their deals or one of their business ventures that they're going to have, and the pros and cons. And then I tell them at the end of the day, they have to make their decision. So when I look back at taking advice from people, I go back to, the pizza shop. And I remember that I was 20 years old, and there were certain people going, you can't take on the responsibility at 20 years old and, opening up a pizza shop, and, you need to go to college and get the education and go implement it into the world. But one, I knew college wasn't for me. It wasn't where my heart was. So why should I have continued to go on with college? You know, I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I knew the pizza business. Even though I was only 20 years old, I had confidence that I could make the right changes when that pizza shop wasn't doing well when I bought it. Through the previous owners, I knew what I could do with Kent's Pizza back in Parkside. And then, you know, something that I really sticks out in my mind my whole life, when I was working at the Daily Times and I was starting to get into the real estate, and I set that quit date at the Daily Times. I seek some counsel for some other drivers and people that were in my life, and you know, the drivers were telling me, you know, you can't, you're a truck driver, you're a pizza maker, you can't go into real estate, you're not going to be successful there. You're going to quit this great union job, and then you're going to be back in 6 to 9 months right back where we were. Well, what I realized, I did go for it, and I did put a lot of risk at, because when I bought my house in October, I had sold my pizza shop and I quit the Daily Times, and I had no income coming in. So, but that actually put my back up against the wall to make sure that I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I didn't go to bed till 12 o'clock at night, to make sure I was able to make money and pay my bills for my house, because, you know, after I settled the house, I had no job. So that put the fear in me that I had to go take massive action to make things work. And that's what I did. I mean, every single day was a struggle, you know, in the mind, right? Not in my soul, not in my heart. I knew the effort that I was going to put in, but the mind can play, you know, crazy games with you. But there was only one guy, George Anderson, was at the Daily Times, that said, Steve, you're going to be fine. Go get it. You know what you're doing. You've been an entrepreneur. You know, you are a union truck driver, but at heart, you're an entrepreneur. You shouldn't be here anymore. Don't listen to these guys. You're not going to be back in here in 6 months. So that guy, George Anderson, has been my lifelong friend since 19 years old. And today we still share some of these funny stories. And, you know, that's one guy that I give a call to and say, George, this is what's happening now. Isn't it awesome? And, you know, it's kind of funny. George is buying a real estate property with me today. So I just feel that my success, I want to include him in my success in my life and the real estate deal that I'm doing. So, you know, there's a couple examples of where, you know, people can really hold you back. And unfortunately, I don't know why this is, but man, it's usually the closest people to you, people that you talk to every other day or once a week or a couple times a month, that always question you on what you're doing. Don't have answers for them. Just go, you know, I'm going to show you that this can be done. I'm going to show you, I'm going to make this happen. And you're not letting anyone else down. The only way, if you don't make it happen, you're just letting yourself down. So I call it outside noise. Don't listen to the outside noise. Listen to the noise between your two ears and what's in your soul to accomplish what you want to accomplish. And there's just no giving up. You know, there is no quit. There's no giving up. You keep moving forward with the eye on the prize. And, you know, all those deals before Clifton Glen, I made a lot of those decisions, and I decided to do that deal with Clifton Glen, and it was a life-changing moment, wealth, and the people that I'm hanging out with today, and why I'm living in Siesta Key and enjoying this time with so many friends and family members that are coming, and they're all being rewarded in some way of the success that I had with the biggest real estate deal that I ever did. So, you know, believe in yourself. Look in that mirror and tell yourself you can do it, because there's a lot of people that aren't going to believe in you, but you always have yourself to get through everything. You know, one thing that I'm always looking for is I kind of have a conversation with my gut. So it's a feeling that you have in your stomach and your chest, you know, whether you should do something or not. You know, I think about this a lot. Your mind is usually listening to what everyone else is saying around you, and I really concentrate of the feeling. You know, when something not good, it's in your mind, but it's not a good feeling that's in your gut. And when something's going good, you really have this strong feeling in your gut. So whenever I am making a big decision about a real estate deal, I try to fight the mind of whether I'm going to do it or not. And I try to really listen to my gut instincts and get that feeling whether I should do the deal or not. Sounds a little crazy, but I tell everyone to always trust your gut because your mind can play the games. It can go all over there. It's just really weird how your gut either has a good feeling or it has a bad feeling. And your mind can just be like a tornado being swirled around. And I don't always make the right decisions with my mind, but I always make the right decisions with my gut.